Okay, hello everybody. Can you hear me? Great. So welcome to this workshop. It's called The Art of Living Awake with Ananta Kranti. So those of you who don't know Ananta so well, she's been walking this for the last 30 years or so, walking awake after a pretty profound awakening experience. Around 30 years ago. So she's a really sincere and dedicated being and teacher. So we're really blessed to be able to do this workshop. I'd like to ask if you could keep your phones off for the duration of the workshop. And it works better if you have your screens on so we can see you. If you feel comfortable with that, it's better for the connection. So yes, we'll start with Ananta will guide a dropping meditation to start with before leading on to interaction. So if you want to interact with Ananta, it'll probably be after half an hour or 40 minutes. Then you can raise your hand by pressing the raise hand button. And we'll call out your name. Okay, so without further ado, I'll pass you over to Ananta.
Can you hear me? Is it working on the mic? Yeah? Great. Thank you, Chris, for such a lovely introduction. That's very kind of you. Hello everyone. So first of all, you might notice that my voice is a little virusy. I've just had another virus move through, not the famous one. Hang on, I'm just going to move this light. But a virus, and it's moving through quickly. But so, and this is this can also be included in part of the subject, really, because life happens, right? And life is all not always what we would like it to be or what we plan it to be. Obviously, it never is. And yet how we move through all of this, what we take ourselves to be. I'm going to adjust this light again because it's going right in my eyes. Hang on. Is that still okay? Do you have enough light, Chris?
Yeah, the light looks good. I'm just wondering, you're a little bit quiet for me. I wonder if you're quiet for other people as well, or.
I'll see if I can adjust that. It could be also this.
Yeah.
But I'll see if I can. I've actually got the light. Audio settings. Tell me if this makes a difference. How about now? Is that different? Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. That's better.
And how about now? Is that okay? Is that better? Even better?
That's better still for me. Yeah.
Great. Okay, yeah. So life happens. So first of all, I want to thank you all for showing up. What is the most important thing in this life for you as a human? In today's world, as a human being, what is your life a dedication of? And when I say that, it's like I'm saying, what is your life? And I'm speaking to a certain level of what we are. In our humanness. And now I want to invite you to come with me into a deeper level. So let's begin with, I invite you to really put everything aside, like you are not going to be disturbed by anything. Switch your phone off, as Chris said, and let's close the eyes. And just as you sit here in this seat, really allowing the intention of deeply allowing yourself to leave the world behind. Allowing the body to really sink into the chair or whatever the surface, the bed, just really dropping the whole weight of this life story. Noticing as the breath deepens and slows down, and the muscles and the tissues begin to soften. Really to leave the world behind is to detach. From the senses. Leave it alone. As you fall, keep falling. into the sanctuary. Of your own being. Losing everything, including all your wants and needs, just for this moment, just losing it all, that you slip deeper down. All is quiet here. The body continues to breathe. And there is nothing that you can say about your life. Right here. What you are before any arisings is a pure being. You are silent, aware presence of being. Without any effort and without any doer. Here you are. Here, you are. Life itself. Breathing this body by itself. You are not succeeding or failing. You are not old or young. You are not more or less. Here, you are. Life itself. Barking the dogs and hearing the dogs bark. Here, you have no name. Life, consciousness, God, Source, are names that point to what is here. And as you let go more and more and more and more into what is here, cannot find any beginning or end to what you are. The more you let go, what do you find? As yourself. But this that we call life, another name for what we call God. Which we cannot deny is aware of itself as conscious presence, being here, now. And where are you, if not this? What are you, if not this? Who? Who are you, if not this? And this has always been the space in which the appearance of your life unfolds. This has always been, for as long as you have been aware. This has always been behind, within, and the undercurrent of this display of life story. This has always been okay. As the depth of what you are is always. Not only okay, but always free. This from which you came, and to where someday, as this body falls away, you return completely. In this moment, with the eyes closed, take a look for yourself where you begin, where you end, or where you begin and something or someone else, where you end and something else begins. It's very easy and very natural to see. Endless, spacious being with no separation anywhere. Recognizing this is this awakening, waking to itself, recognizing this is this waking to itself. While still being aware of a body. A body breathing by itself. A heart beating by itself. This waking whilst animating human form. Waking up to itself has nothing to do with human ego, nothing to do with any separate self. This seeing through. And yes, here is a body, a very unique form, birthed into human experience. And into the experience of duality. Relativity. And individuation. Just beginning to feel your way fully into this physicality. Sitting here on the chair. Returning to the senses. Becoming aware of sensation. Being right on that borderline between attachment and detachment. The borderline. I'm beginning to sense in this world of appearance, remaining with the eyes closed, sense all of the beings in this room attending this meeting point of conscious presence. Just beginning to sense that in the space of you. Seeing how you can sense all of that while in the same moment, from the depth of you, there being no end and no beginning. Who are you now? A person attending this call, and in the depth of being, the one giving life to all this. All here in the same moment. Dimensions of experience. Not to deny any dimension, for all of it, all levels of experience are to be filled with awakeness. Which brings us to the subject. Living awake. So in a moment, I'm going to invite you to come into the space where the magnificence of the eye lids open to a world of color, shape, and appearance. And in the same moment, I invite you effortlessly to remain as you are in your depth, as you observe what it is to be in the world of seeming many, of duality. So in your own time and in your own sweet way, perhaps the body would like a little stretch. As you become more physically present. And when you feel ready, feel welcome. To allow the eyes see if I can come a little closer. And make a little adjustment. Good evening. Welcome to this immense subject of living awake. There is so much now talk of awakening, and it's bursting. Now is the time it's like bursting, and it's also getting used and abused, which is what happens in our platform of duality. So here comes the rain again. So from my point of view, living awake is an ever deepening of this realization, of this recognition. Recognizing, firstly, that this longing that's in the heart of all humans that are here today. I don't know all humans at this time on this earth. I can't say that. But for sure, all humans who are here today and many who are not. This calling, this longing in the heart, this calling for the truth, for the true reality of this life, for this. It's like the deepest calling for the lover, the beloved, that opens in our being. It begins in our human, right? With this disillusion of all the play of duality that's just not giving us or bringing us to true, deep peace, happiness, fulfillment, meaning. Like when we lose the chasing of experiences that are fleeting, and there's this longing in the heart. It's like this, it takes the form of longing for source, longing for God, longing for truth. It begins somewhere, yeah? And then at a certain point, as it breaks open in our being and reveals itself, that there is nothing out there. There is nothing out there that we can call God or source or anything other than what we actually, in the first place, are. When this breaks open in our consciousness and is seen and recognized, is recognized by itself, this we can call, there's an awakening out of the lie, the false misconception of being this person searching for something in this life. Yeah, so when this breaks open in our being, in our heart, this we can really call, there's an awakening happening of itself to itself, and the human levels are seen for what they are. They're not discarded or denied, they are seen for what they are. This beautiful manifestation of the human expression comes from this source. It's an expression of God. I like this word, godliness, source, consciousness. Not that I mean that there's something other than what this actually is, this that births all this play and is within. There's nothing else. There is nothing else. So when this, what we can really call an awakening within this human experience, because without the human experience, there's nothing to wake up. There's nothing it cannot realize itself without the lostness, right? Otherwise it just is. So the taking of this form and the lostness within duality, giving birth to the search, leading to the realization, leading to the value, gives life meaning. Huh? So what is it to live awake as this? Yeah, the art of living awake. Okay, that's what this is called, the art of living awake. Because it becomes an art, because you're human with all of its programming and conditioning and its nervous system wired into thousands of years of programming and happenings and experience and traumas and all of that, that's all in the consciousness of this human that's birthed. This doesn't just drop off and just all come to peace. It's all of that movement, right? So to live awake within all of that is not to deny that or to disassociate, but to actually bring into all these places awakeness, to be willing to meet it and to be willing to update the system. Not just this system, because as this system is being updated, so is human consciousness. Hopefully. Yeah. I'm looking into a green dot, so that I can be looking at you in the camera. But it's nice to see these images too. So there are fundamental, within the art of living this on the human level, there are fundamental commitments that need to be in place. Within this human, there need to be fundamental commitments. This is where the art. One of those commitments is to take responsibility in rewiring, retraining, not rewiring, retraining the nervous system. To take responsibility in retraining the nervous system. What does that mean? It means that it's the nervous system that gets triggered, right? Because it's got all the past traumas and it's got all of that, and then if there's stress going on in the life, it's going to trigger the nervous system. As soon as we're in our human form in a stress state, the nervous system is reacting and responding in the ways of past trauma. That's what it knows. It can't do anything else. And that will have to be retrained. It will have to be reparented in a way. It will have to be nurtured. It will have to be softened and soothed and cared for like a baby. it will have to be updated in that way of choices that retrain the nervous system in a way that it is strengthened, soothed, that brings about deeper relaxation, creating circumstances for deeper relaxation, so that it's not just a product of any trigger. That takes a responsibility within the human. And for the human to make that commitment, there needs to be awakeness. That's just one little point. It's one little point, but it's massive. It's massive. It's huge. This is always what I meet again and again in the interactions when people ask me, well, what about these triggers, you know? It comes down to this. In the end, it comes down to this. You're going to have to retrain the nervous system. I want to make sure that we have time for interaction. So I would say one more thing that is part of the art is to, in this human play and all of the feelings and all of the journey and all of the happening, all the things that come and go and move through our space of consciousness, all that we go through as a human, is important to recognize, not to land anywhere. Yes, we have to feel it all. It's not to deny with some spiritual concept. Yes, we have to meet it all. Yes, we have to feel it all, but don't land. Move through the waves and experience the waves, but don't land in a way where you start building a house and making a big story out of it. And then carrying it like it became your home, your house where you live. The big story of me. Becomes a home, a house, carrying. Becomes baggage. So I'm saying is don't land. Don't land. Go, what is coming up is coming up, and it's unraveling and it's moving, and it's here to be met, and it's here to be walked through, and it's here to be integrated, met. What needs to happen here? But don't land there. And build a house. So it's this ability to, at the same time all of this is happening, to know that you are a space of life itself, constant, constant, constant. Your deepest, truest name is God. Without his nameless and formless, but that's what I speak of when I use that word. It's beyond all names and beyond all forms. It's the deepest, truest self. Always, always. Not separate from the human play. So this is an ongoing dance, and it's an ongoing journey, and it's an ongoing deepening of this realization. Embodying this realization into the human. The human does not anymore throw aggression to another, the war is over. The human does not violate another human being. That's over. It's done. All these aspects cannot happen when you know, truly know, what and who you are. So there's a journey, even though it's instant realization and recognition, which needs to be a commitment to be true to. There's so much more. I'm going to open it up for any interaction. There's so much more. I could go on and on, but I want to give some space. If you take a moment of silence, just take a moment to just, It's what our human form, collective consciousness is calling for more than anything now. It's either that or collective madness. Which way will you go? You who are here today, you're already choosing your way. And it's a constant choice. It's a constant commitment. It needs commitment. It needs all of you. Every bit of you needs to commit to really live this. Otherwise, it was just an experience you had once, that now it's become an intellectual understanding, and there you go talking about it as if it's some understanding here, and still you go on suffering. Can't be that. It's not living awake. The suffering has to be over. There will be pain, there is pain, but you don't need to suffer. So if anybody would like to interact or ask anything, it's welcome. I see there is a hand. I can't see who it is. I didn't get my eyes fixed yet.
Hi, it's Christine.
Hello, Christine. I can see you now because I got you on the big screen.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
How are you?
Like that. I've got a lot going on in my nervous system. I've had a new neighbour who's quite nocturnal and chaotic lifestyle. And so I've actually been using it as a, what am I drawing in? What's in my system that's resonating with this energy? And definitely there's a lot. I've always had sensitivity, difficulty sleeping, and it's really, I'm having to stay out a couple of nights a week to catch up with sleep. But I'm noticing what gets activated in me is my anxiety, desire to control, want things to be as I would be beneficial for me, and the hostility which comes when I just get really frustrated. And I feel, yes, I'm responsible for that. That's got nothing to do with him. But yet there is something that's not, it's not great for him, perhaps his lifestyle, but that's his business. But I think when he first moved in, I've had a
No, but let's come back to you, because we're starting to drift into the story of him, and let's come back to living awake. So what can you actually do about this in the relative play is something else. But so what I want to bring it in, because we have this little bit of time, we just have a moment. So I just want to bring it to what you can do for yourself, right? So yeah, I completely understand, and yeah, I've lived a lot in really challenging situations, and I've absolutely had to find more and more and more ways to help this nervous system, right? And it's a retraining. It really is a retraining. And since you are living alone, he's not living in the flat with you. So that's a great big plus, right? Isn't it?
It feels like he's living here.
Right, but he's not.
No.
There is a difference, I can tell you. Yeah, I have lived with neighbour, and I've lived with it in the same. Yeah. There is a difference. So in your little space, you can do anything you want, right? I'm not discounting. I can just like really relate that would be a hell, right? However, what can you do for yourself within this situation, right? So this is something that, regardless of what happens secondarily in the circumstances with the guy, this is something that you need to attend to. What can you do for yourself? And there are a number of ways that you can learn how to train your nervous system into deep relaxation. What deep relaxation is, and how to train the nervous system to come into that zone, right? So I'm actually in that myself, have been for years, but now I'm really going, because it's really time. But so what can you do? And there are a number of ways, which I think you were in the Living Awake group before, the Sangha, right? Yeah, there's a number of ways that I probably have talked with you about before, about using different self-treatments, herbs, oils, ways, lots of ways that you can do that are soothing and nurturing to the nervous system. And this, regardless of what happens secondarily with this guy in the situation, first of all, to commit to do what you can do to help this one, because it's so fast that we go out there.
Oh yeah.
We go out to, but since you are in the flat alone, this is a huge thing. This is the first time for me to have my own space for years, right? So I know don't devalue that.
Oh, no.
Don't overlook the value that you have, even that space. And there you can choose how you're going to spend your whole day in practices that are helping the nervous system to soothe and relax, regardless of what action you take in the world secondarily. Because when we get relaxed, and when we get relaxed and soothed, something happens that we can see more clearly, we can relate more clearly, and a space opens in which we may be able to see more possibilities, a different way of seeing. But when our nervous system is activated and it can't deeply relax, it's difficult for us to see any other way than through stress. Yeah. So that's my suggestion, is that if you can take it or leave it, but to really, like, there are a number of practices and treatments that you can do to help this to rebuild and retrain the nervous system.
Yeah, I do Qigong actually. I do healing sounds, Qigong, and I've been, as I'm lying in bed, I try and soften and relax.
Yes.
And keep pulling my mind back every time it goes out. But I think I'm having to stay out just to
soothing teas, aroma, herbs, different strength to strengthen the nervous system. To strengthen the nervous system will give you more capacity before the stress kicks in. And I tell you, I'm not saying all of this lightly. I'm not saying it from up here. I have lived the last years in very stressful conditions, right? Where there were situations where I couldn't do anything about. So I'm not saying it from a place of up here. I'm saying this is the first commitment. It's like, how do you hold yourself in this? And then once you get into a deep relaxed state, then begin to meditate on what's possible. First, get into the state where you want to be. Whatever it takes, get into the state where you want to be. Whatever it takes, get into the state where you want to be.
Yeah. That was my question, in a sense. Was it I feel like I don't want to make the wrong decisions, and I have to be in the right place if I do.
If you get deeply relaxed, you can't make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
It's when we're like, we make decisions that come from reactions rather than. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely to see you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. I don't know if that was helpful to everybody, because every one of us that speaks of some situation, most of us know it in some way or another, and when one person brings it out, we're able to see it from a distance, because it's like, like right now it's Christine, it's happening in Christine, but you can see from a distance where when it's active in your own life, you may not see so easily. Where are we now? From Tom. Thanks, Tom. Thank you. There's a hand up. Chris?
Michelle, would you like to speak?
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Are there any kind of top tips?
She's gone.
Hi there. Hi, can you hear me?
I can, but I can't see you anymore.
Can you see me now?
Yes, I can.
Sorry. Thank you. Thanks. Hi, everyone. Are there any simple kind of not quick wins, but simple, quick things that we can try to get into that deeper state of relaxation, without going out and buying a tea or a herb? Or is there anything kind of we could take away tonight and try? Anything you can recommend?
Yeah, you can listen to my free meditations. How about that?
I have.
If you want a quick fix, I would ask you. Who is it that is wanting that?
Okay. I think I just want to get into that deep relaxation as quick as possible, because why would you want to put it?
Yes, but that is the problem. That is the problem, is because the one who wants to get as quick as possible is what's in the way. It's that
doing.
It's the seeing of that energy. The seeing of that energy. What is that energy? In the first place, I ask you, what is that What is that wants to have the quick fix? What is that? What is that energy?
I think that energy is years of, because I have some health problems, so I try to, and my health problems are worse by stress and anxiety.
Right.
And so I know eradicate
exactly. It's the
that.
stress, right?
Mm.
It's the stress. It's the stress, like, so once you recognize there is stress,
Yeah.
you recognize that, what can you do to create an environment in which that can let go? And this has to become your responsibility of a way of living and being. Otherwise, it will never become what you live.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be like, oh, awakening is like a hobby that I can dip in and out of, but let me get on with my life.
Yeah,
and that's kind of not what I'm talking about. I would highly recommend that you daily do some kind of deep relaxation, whether it's through my own video work, which you can find loads of audios on SoundCloud, loads of free meditations, whether it's you do that twice a day, so you learn what it is to drop, so your system begins to recognize what it means to drop deeper, just like we did at the beginning of this call. It's a recognition that needs to happen in your being.
Yeah. I found it different today. I may have even fallen asleep. So is that a bad thing or a good thing? I may have.
Sorry?
I think I may have fallen slightly earlier.
No, that's exactly what you needed to
Is
fall
that good?
asleep. Well, I mean, it's not that it's good or bad. It's just it shows that you were able to let go.
Yeah, because I find
Let
a lot
go.
of I've tried lots of meditations, but lots of them are things like, imagine you're on a beach, picture the ocean, and I can't see pictures in my head, so I really struggle to follow all
So
of those things.
I highly recommend you go and check out my meditations, because they're all guiding you back to this. And that is what is calling for you, is to come to know what it is to deeply relax and let go. And once you let go, who are you? To start with that question. And all of my audios, meditation videos are leading to that. So, quick fix. And you're very welcome to attend. I have regular meetings every 2 weeks. We have the Living Awake private group, community group, where we meet every 2 weeks, and there's ongoing support within that. So you're welcome to. It depends how much you want to dip your toe in, or
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. So awakening is becoming a bit of a buzzword, right? And ever since the whole, shall we call it pandemic or plandemic? I don't know, but ever since then, it has taken on a whole new meaning for many. And there are deeper and deeper levels to what it is to really live from the essence of your being. And this is the only way that you will truly, truly know what it is to live free. Because what we're facing on our human platform may not it may get worse before it gets better. You know, on the human play, it's the collective stress and atrocities that are playing out will stress more and more humans, and that then is felt throughout the collective consciousness. So unless you really anchor in on something that supports you to deepen in your true roots of your being, yet you need that. You absolutely need that to really deepen and use this time as the homecoming. And my breath is like, hang on. To use this time as the opportunity that is within all of that. Because there is profound opportunity within the mess, within the chaos. Once you know truly who and what you are, and you're willing to commit your whole human life to living awake, you can begin to operate in a whole new way that is not bound by the laws that we see appearing on the screen. You tap into dimensions of yourself that are able to bring about a creative expression that is more attuned to who you really are. We are magical beings, and magical is a word that is only relevant to our human conditioned reality because it's so unrecognized that life doesn't really work the way we have been conditioned to think it does. And that is really being revealed now in our consciousness field. Frequency attraction, all of this manifestation from another way of operating and moving in this world, from the source of who we are. So there's so much to say on this subject. It just goes so deep. But I welcome you to if you'd like to interact in any way, I welcome you. It's really lovely here. So the willingness to constantly let go of everything you know. On a human level. To constantly open reveals the unimaginable. To become normality for a little while until you let go of it more. And you keep letting go of everything you know to be made new constantly. Who will you be? There is a hand raised.
Hi,
Who will
Ananta. It's Joanna. Can you see me?
Yes.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, how are
Hey.
you? My question is, it's a bit a practical one actually. So I used to always focus in the body and be within. And then then I realized the space and how powerful the space was and the magic in the space and the source, etc. And then after your retreat, it was just like, just so alive, the space. And it was just like holding everything. And it was just amazing. But now when I listen to, I don't know, podcasts or meditation, etc., people are always saying, you said, be in the body. So like my practical question is, well, I've realized this amazing space that's magical and is just so alive. So then when I'm told to go back into the body, I sometimes just get a bit confused, but then sometimes the body and space is one anyway. But I wonder why the instruction is always to go in the body when this space is so thick and
Oh,
rich.
that's such a beautiful question. Thank you. It's so beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Okay, give me a moment. Mm. Okay, let's put it like this. In past teachings of this message, in the beginning of this teaching coming through, it was coming through in a way that was quite, I call it the masculine way of pointing always to the absolute. So the absolute space you're referring to, absolute awareness, always free, right, always pointing to this. And there was never any inclusion of this human form. So there was kind of like we saw a lot of disassociation happen. So you see many that were like, I know who I am as absolute awareness, and yet the body mind is still behaving in ways that belong to a dysfunctional being, a human being, you know, patterned and programmed and behaving in ways that are just not aligned to this absolute awareness. Because this absoluteness, to give it a word, or the quality of aware, is that which sees. But then when it's not, I have to try to slow down in my speaking. When it's not coming through each and every behavior, if the behaviors are not being updated by that which sees, then the behaviors are still belonging to the old self-identity, and there's a disassociation from the recognition of I am, pure awareness, and this, what we call personal. It's like they are two different, and in the beginning of these teachings, like how it was, I've always, since I started sharing this 20 odd years ago, I was always screaming. I mean, I guess maybe because this feminine body was always like, you know, feeling everything. God, I couldn't, it didn't resonate ever for me that to be a denial of the emotional world, or of feelings, or of sensation, or of this whole thing here, to deny that and say that it's all just drama and I'm absolute awareness that's over here. For me, it just never worked from day one. And so when I very first started sharing, it was the way I was living it. You know, because that question came very alive in myself. So now, okay, this recognition is here. I know absolutely what I am, and nothing can ever touch this. This is absolutely free. But now something triggers the system, and there's an activation, and there's anger, right? Now, what do I do with this? Because I'm absolute awareness. What am I going to, who's angry? So when this first, and this was all activating in me in the very same moment recognition was coming in. And the question was always, how does this come together? Right? And at that time, like many years ago, there was no teacher who I could ask about this or was talking about it. And through my own inquiry, and what made me even start speaking, it was clear that this anger has to be fully met, fully entered. He, as the masculine, absolute awareness, has to enter her fully. Her as the feeling arising, the energy arising, the play of appearance, he has to enter her before the lovemaking can begin. You know, and that in a way, it's like a way of saying that there's no integration of this absolute recognition into the human form until this process is happening. Otherwise, you're always going to have this experience or this experience. There's no embodiment. It's not in the body. The recognition is not in the body. The body is still belonging to this personal story. So when they say to what you're hearing, I don't know what podcast you're listening, but if it's telling you to come to the body, it's inviting you to bring awareness to be present in this form. In this form. So when an activation happens and something triggers your body mind, now, in this moment, know it right now. Know who you are. Know this I am direct experience of wide open free space in the midst of this, not just when it's like this. Yeah? So when that is, you're knowing yourself right in the middle of human experience, now you're walking in and you can redirect your responses, where you come from, your alignment to this absolute knowing, rather than just old behaviors of trauma. So here comes integration, embodiment. Huh? And this is so beautiful, this question. Thank you so much for getting me to come here to this bit. Is it clear?
Yeah, that's very clear. So then can I ask, what if you're not being triggered? What if you feel fine? Would you rest in the body still, or would you rest in the space?
Well, you know, if I just look within my own experience, it's like it's always both. There is no in or out.
So as one, it's all connected, you're saying, or
there's no separation anywhere. There never has been. There never has been. So I don't need to be in the experience of expansion or in the experience of just this body. Is what I am in the experience of most of the time is my being. My being, and sometimes the body hurts, and then it's like, okay, let's come and take care of this body. I come fully to the body, but I still come as a being. There's no need for any particular experience. Yeah. It depends. The podcast you're listening to, there might be just like, because there's been such a sway of people not present in the body, there might be just, that's the angle it's taking. But at the end of the day, there never has been a separation anywhere. But if you're not present to your bodily experience, it's very easily that you can cross your own boundaries and allow your boundaries to be crossed, because you disconnect from what's true in you in the moment.
Yeah, it's like your body's like the anchor.
Yeah, it's like the anchor in this human form on this plane, in this earth, and yet your anchor really truly is in knowing who you are. Yeah, but to actually fill up the form with this knowing is an embodied, integrated. It gets all the love, it gets all the care, and there's no attachment to it. Because one day this body's bound for ashes to ashes. It all is. So it's without attachment. It's full love and care. Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was going to say, so yeah, it's so wonderful that all the hands are going up now. They always do it when the time is up. Let me just see who it is. Oh no, Stuart and Julian, you are part of the Living Awake group, so you can wait. Sorry to say. This losing my thing. This offering today is an invitation for everybody to come for free and get a taste of how this works, and to also talk about the Living Awake group that we have, where we meet, because you're the host, where we meet every 2 weeks, and we're meeting as a group of beings committed to living awake. It's the I've moved away from your screen now, Joanna, thank you. Right. So yeah, we have this intimate group where we meet I meet with them twice a month, which will be next Sunday, and in between that they also meet, and also individually, and work together in a way, building a supportive field of everything is committed and dedicated to the living of this. And by coming together as a group, there is an energy field being created in which is a supportive space for growing and unfolding and integrating. So yeah, we're offering we offered this meeting as an invitation, and to offer, there's a offer on at the moment, and we will do that every once in a while. But otherwise, Chris will say more about this. But yeah, there is a lower rate at the moment, and it will change in November. If anybody would like to join, there are also discounted rates on online retreats and courses that we run included in that. I can't say anymore. I'm finished. I'm actually finished. I'm actually done. But Chris is going to say a few words about that. But I think, do you want to say something, Chris?
Yes. So I'll just reiterate, really. If you can sign up for the membership in October. If you sign up before the end of October, then you get it for a discounted price, and you'll get that price ongoingly. Also, if you sign up for a whole year, you get it way cheaper, and included in that is one of Ananta's courses, either Realizing the Love Affair with Life or Undoing Dysfunction. So I'm going to post the link in the chat. And it's just a really amazing way to, Ananta spoke a lot about commitment, the importance of commitment. And this is just such an incredible way to make that commitment, to sort of make that commitment to yourself. The phrase has been coming into my mind, take one step towards God and God will take 100 steps towards you. I love that. And this is you take one big step towards God and God will take 100 steps towards you. And that's how I see this membership. Signing up for this and committing to this. I committed to Ananta's teachings and spending time with Ananta and following her, and it completely changed my life, and it's still impacting me a lot. So yeah, I would recommend it. I don't think there's anything else.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Yeah, I just say a few more words about that. Is that, the format of this membership group is not the dedication is to yourself, right? So it's not like you're kind of committing to a master or something and you are in this pedestal thing. It's not that. It's a meeting of one self. And that is how the message that comes through me is to create the field of one self realizing itself. And what Chris mentioned about the courses, the Undoing Dysfunction, which we ran last year, which was a very deep 12-week course. I received the news last night that there's quite possibly going to be a part 2 to that coming up in February. So yeah, if you've already done the first one, that is what opens the door to the second one. Anyway, also I'd like to just really thank you for coming along and bringing your presence. And it's your presence that is everything. It's everything. It's you being committed to this journey within yourself that will change your life. And it is really a commitment, because if you just dip your toe in and you're just in and out and you just play on it doesn't mean you need to commit to my membership group, but to this living realization, you do need to commit. Otherwise, you get washed away in the waves quite easily. It needs everything of you, every bit. It's not a hobby. So yeah, and also I wanted to mention that I'm in Spain right now, and I'll be going to Portugal in a couple of weeks, where I'll have a 6-day retreat in person, and that can also be joined online. Yeah, and if you're not on the Born to Be Free platform, welcome to join on there. Well, it's a bit different than Facebook and social media, because there's none of this competitive tearing down thing. Yeah, it's a calm, safe space. Okay, so I really, really want to thank you, and let's just take a moment to return back to silence, and to take a moment to close the eyes again together. Returning to the space deep in our being, which is already quiet. Which is always quiet. And is in fact the sanctuary of your own heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let there be peace. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. Bye for now.